Hey guys, welcome back to One Stop Biology. So in today's video, we are going to continue with our last topic, which was of immunity, the immune system of our body. So in today's video, we are going to continue with, vaccination and immunization. That will cover some of the allergies and how our body responds to that, the autoimmunity and the immune system of a human body. So let's start off with vaccination and immunization. Now, guys, in the last video, the very last topic that we discussed what was active and passive immunity. So first of all, if you have not gone through that video, please go through it once. And in active and passive immunity, what we discussed is that sometimes your body produces antibody, and that is active immunity. And in some cases, you are given ready-made antibodies in the form of medicines or vaccines or different type of chemicals basically, and that is a ready-made antibody, and that is nothing but passive immunity. Now we also saw examples like colostrum, which is again a passive immunity, which is given from a mother, lactating mother, to the infant. The other type of passive immunity is the immunity that is transferred from the placenta to the fetus, right? So basically, the principle of immunization or vaccination is based on the property of memory of the immune system, right? So basically, we also studied that in acquired immunity that the our immune system is basically, dependent on the different type, specific type of pathogen, and that the kind of memory that we have after the pathogen attacks our body for the first time, right? So basically, in vaccination, what happens is a preparation of antigenic protein, and this is of pathogen. Now, it can be an inactivated or weakened pathogen itself, and these are introduced in the body, right? So, it can be a specific protein of pathogen or the inactivated or weakened pathogen itself, which are given as a vaccine to the body. Now, what happens is that the body starts producing antibodies against these antigens, and it neutralizes the pathogenic agent during actual infection. So what happens is, now since once you get this response from your body, once your body starts producing antibodies, if you get infected with the same antigen again, your body starts producing antibody against it, right? And it is somewhat immunized now, right? So again, these vaccines, what they do basically is they generate memory-based B and T cells. And these B and T cells recognize the pathogen as quick, as soon as our body is exposed to it. And it immediately invades these antigens by, massively producing antibodies, right? So basically, our immune system is ready for these kind of pathogens now, and there will be a very quick immune response, right? So, some examples are like we take tetanus shots, right? These tetanus shots are nothing but production of antibody. In the same way, we get vaccinated for polio, we get vaccinated for BCG, right? And so many things. So even in the case of snake bites, actually the injection that you get against the snake venom is nothing but the venom itself. The injection, the chemical that is basically used as a counter to, snake bite is nothing but the snake venom itself in a modified form, basically. Now, this type of immunization is known as passive immunization. Always remember that. This type of immunity or immunization is known as passive immunization, right? So one of the methods which are, involved in, production of these type of vaccines, which is very famous, is recombinant DNA technology. It is recombinant DNA technology. Now, basically, vaccines produced using this approach allows large scale production, and then that is why they are available easier. So, even the disease like hepatitis B, you get vaccinated against hepatitis B, right? And it was a very severe disease at one time, right? This again is possible. The vaccination of hepatitis B was possible only because of the technology that we have today, right? So this is all about vaccination and immunization. Now the next topic that we have to see is allergies. Right. So allergy basically is nothing but, what happens is, say, sometimes you are exposed to a very new environment, right? And say you go to a new place, and what happens is you suddenly start sneezing, right? Or, wheezing happens. And as soon as you move away from that particular area, it stops. Your symptoms completely disappears, right? So what happens is that some of us are very sensitive to certain particles in the environment, right? These might be even like the pollens, mites, or things like that, right? Which are present in a different place and we are not habituated to that particular place, right? And basically, as response to those allergens, as response to those antigens, there is an exaggerated response from our body, and that is known as allergy, right? And the substance to which such an immune response is produced are known as allergens. So basically, the sneezing or wheezing that happens is nothing but a response of our immune system to certain allergens, right? Now, the specific antibodies which are produced for allergy are IgE, right? So this is the antibody which are produced against any kind of allergies. Now there are some common examples of allergens like mites which are present in dust, pollens, animal dander. So many of us are allergic to dog or cat hair, right? So again, all these are considered as very common allergens. And symptoms of allergic reactions are, sneezing, watery eyes, running nose, even difficulty in breathing, right? So there, it's not just that, allergies are caused by environment. It is caused by different animals as well. Like a very common allergy in humans is from seafood, right? So there are certain chemicals which are released, like histamine and serotonin, and these are released from mast cells. So you have histamine, you have serotonin. These are chemicals which are released from mast cells, right? So the allergy that you see, the response that you see, it is because of these chemicals which are released, right? Now, for determining the cause of allergy, basically the patient, what happens is if I have to, check what kind of allergies I have, what I'll be doing is basically doctor would be exposing me or injecting me with small doses of all possible allergens, right? And then they will see the reaction of my body. They'll study the reaction, right? And if they have to just reduce the response, they have to subside the response, there are drugs like antihistamine, adrenaline, and steroids which reduces the symptom of allergy. So that is given basically, right, in response. Now what happens is, nowadays these allergies, these allergens are present and they are increasing day by day in specifically metro cities, and that is why in India there is a very common cases of allergies and asthma in children as well as adults, right? So these are different types of allergies. Now let's see what is autoimmunity. So autoimmunity is basically memory-based acquired immunity. So it is a kind of acquired immunity, and it is a memory-based immunity which evolved in higher vertebrates because of ability to differentiate foreign organisms. So since my body is, able to differentiate from the cells which are already present in the body and the cells which are entering in the body from the outside. And since they know that these are foreign organisms, they attack it, right? They start producing antibody attack against it. So this is basically nothing but a memory-based acquired immunity, right? So basically, higher vertebrates, what they have is they have the ability to distinguish various foreign molecules as well as foreign organisms, right? What happens is, there are certain autoimmune diseases as well, where what happens is that these are genetic disorders basically, and what happens is that your body stops recognizing self cells, the cells which are already present in the body, and they start attacking them as well, which cause damage to the body. So one type of autoimmune disease is rheumatoid arthritis. It is rheumatoid arthritis, which is again a type of response, a type of autoimmune disease which causes damage to the body. So, this is all about autoimmunity. Now, let's see how the immune system of the body is made, right? So, the human immune system basically consists of different types of lymphoid organs. There is a complete lymph system which is against the antigen or pathogen which enters, right? So we have lymphoid organs, we have lymphoid organs, we have different tissues, we have different cells, and then we have soluble molecules like antibody, right? So now we know one thing, that the immune system is unique, as in it recognizes foreign agents and responds to it, and then it remembers these foreign agents, right? So basically it also plays an important role in allergic reactions, in autoimmune diseases, in organ transplantation, right? So let's see all these different type of organs or tissues or cells which are part of the human immune system. So the first is lymphoid organs. Now guys, lymphoid organs are basically the organs where either origin, right, or maturation and proliferation of lymphocyte occurs. So we initially said that the WBCs, the lymphocytes, are basically they form the immune system, right? The um, acquired immune system of the body, right? So the organs where these lymphocytes origin from, they mature and they proliferate, they divide, are the lymphoid organs. So the primary lymphoid organs are two: bone marrow and thymus. And now let me tell you that B lymphocytes or B cells and T cells, this B is nothing but the cells which are generated at bone marrow, and T is basically for thymus. So these cells are originated at these organs basically, right? So the basic lymphoid organs are bone marrow and thymus, where immature lymphocyte differentiates, right? So they differentiates into what? Antigen sensitive lymphocytes, right? Now after maturation, these lymphocytes migrate to secondary lymphoid organs, like you have spleen, you have lymph nodes, you have tonsils, right? You have Pierce patches, This is present in small intestine. You have appendix. So what happens is that these mature lymphocytes migrate to secondary lymphocyte or lymphoid organs. Now these secondary lymphoid organs provide the sites for interaction of lymphocytes with the antigen. So basically, these are the places where the lymphocytes, the mature lymphocytes, interact or fight with the antigen. And it then proliferate to become effector cells, right? So the location of various lymphoid organs, if I show you the location, these are the locations. So here you have lymph nodes, you have thymus, you have lymphatic vessels, different types of lymphatic vessels, right? So basically what happens is that, if we talk about the bone marrow first, bone marrow is considered as the main lymphoid organs, guys. And why it is considered as the main lymphoid organ? It is because all blood cells, including lymphocytes, right, are produced in bone marrow, right? So this is the main lymphoid organ. Now, thymus. Thymus is a lobed organ. It is located near the heart. So it is just located beneath your breastbone, your chest bone, right? Now, thymus is again very large at the time of birth, but the size of thymus keeps reducing in size. It keeps reducing in size with age, right? And by the time you hit puberty, it reduces to a very small size, right? So both bone marrow and thymus basically provide microenvironment for the development and maturation of T lymphocytes, right? Now again, apart from that, you have spleen. So spleen is again a large bean-shaped organ, and spleen contains lymphocytes and phagocytes, right? So what happens is that spleen acts as a filter of blood, and what this does is it traps all the blood-borne microorganisms, right? So it is basically a filter of the blood. Now, apart from that, spleen also has a large reservoir of erythrocytes. Spleen has a large reservoir of erythrocytes as well, right? So this is spleen. Then we have lymph nodes. Now, lymph nodes are, guys, basically small solid structures, and these structures are located at different points along the lymphoid lymphatic system, right? So they again, what these nodes do is they trap the microorganism, right? They trap the microorganism or the antigen, which basically gets into the lymph or tissue fluid. So this lymph system is basically filled with lymph fluid, right? What is happening is basically the all the organisms which are trapped in blood are filtered through spleen. All the organisms, microbes which are trapped in either lymph fluid or tissue fluid are basically filtered by these lymph nodes, right? So they filter all the different type of antigens, right? Now the antigens which gets trapped in the lymph node are responsible for activation of lymphocytes which are present there, and these causes the immune response. So what happens is basically these lymph nodes trap all the antigen from the tissue fluid and lymph fluid, and then they activate lymphocytes which kill these antigens, right? Then you have different types of lymphoid tissues as well. Now, these lymphoid tissues are located within the lining of all the major tracts like the respiratory, digestive, urinogenital. So, all these tracts have a lining of lymphoid tissues, and this is known as malt. This is known as malt, which is mucosa associated lymphoid tissues. So basically, mucus having lymphoid tissues, right? And these tissues basically constitute 50% of the lymphoid tissues in human body. So guys, if you see the network of the lymph system, you'll find that it somewhat runs parallel to the blood vascular system, right? So you have so many veins and arteries, and parallelly you have this lymph system, which is doing nothing but, making a network of this immune response. And they have several points which basically acts as barrier, which acts as filter to different type of systems. So you can imagine how important it is, how important the lymphoid organs are, how important the entire lymph system is for the body, right? And now you know that the major lymphoid organs are important for all the, or for producing all the blood cells. So the blood content that you have, the different type of cells, whether it's RBCs, WBCs, phagocytes, right? Everything that your blood has coming is coming from the lymphoid organs like bone marrow, right? So it is again a very, very important part of the body. Without it, we will not have that acquired defense system that we need to fight microbes, right? So you can understand how important this topic as well is with respect to your exams, whether it's board or NEET UG. So I hope you understood the lymphatic system as per the NCERT syllabus. Definitely, we are going to cover it in detail as well. But yes, if you did understand it properly, please do not forget to like the video and share it with your friends. And if you have any doubt, please ask me either by commenting on this video, or you can also message me on WhatsApp. The number is given in the description of this video. And yes, if you're new to the channel, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon to get all the interesting updates on the videos that I'll be posting. Okay, guys, let's meet in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.